I don't believe in magical things, but I still believe in me. I no longer need the magic it seems, but I'm still in need of me. I'm growing in my understanding of all the things I need. And what it seems I need the most of is reciprocity. I need boundaries for my flowing. I need friction for my growth. I need my participation and my trust in how life goes. I need understanding. Help my understanding. I don't believe in magical things, but I still believe in me. I no longer need the magic it seems, but I'm still in need of me. I'm growing in my understanding of all the things I need. And what it seems I need the most of is reciprocity. I need boundaries for my flowing. I need friction for my growth. I need my participation and my trust in how life goes. I need understanding. Oh, I'm here for understanding. Ooh, life needs understanding. Help my understanding. Oh, I don't believe in magical things, but I still believe in me. I no longer need all the magic it seems, but I'm still in need of me. Oh, I'm growing in my understanding of all the things I need. And what it seems I need the most of is reciprocity. I don't believe in magical things, but I still believe in me. I no longer need the magic it seems, but I'm still in need of me.
Welcome everyone to Bridge City Sunday Session. My name is Bob Swanson, and Sunday Session, of course, is your weekly touch point for connection, community, and conversation. So welcome to everybody who's joining us live on YouTube, or if you happen to be joining us on the global campus, or of course, you might even be hosting a local watch party. Welcome in, and of course, I want to welcome in my pal Mark from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Welcome, Mark. How are you?
I'm good. That song had me a little choked up, actually. That was really good. But yeah.
Well, one thing I should say, because I forgot to drop this in, was of course we wanted to remind everyone of Bridge City's mission. Now that you found our Sunday session, our goal, of course, is to help people connect better, build better, and live better.
Yes, and that just goes back to the values of this channel and our community to reinforce forward thinking, that we are a forward thinking and people-centric community, and always life-affirming. And actually, that's very much in the spirit of today's talk, which is about reciprocity. that life is not something we just receive, but it's also that we need to participate in, that we are going to affirm ourselves. We affirm ourselves in how we act. We affirm each other as people in how we act and how we live our lives. And it's a way that we can move everyone, ourselves, and the entire community forward. So I think that this is a really good, valuable message today.
Absolutely. Because of course, with any kind of community, people matter, and part of being, in the Bridge City community is that this is a space where we don't pretend to have certainty about things, but we do want to have honest conversations, honest thinking, and make intentional connections, as well as to reflect on what we learn. Everyone is welcome. There's no real pressure, and you don't even have to agree with absolutely everything in the conversation to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, we definitely want to make sure that if you're a first-time guest, welcome. We are so glad that you're here. Your presence here makes a difference, and we always appreciate you showing up whenever you can. So
yes, and please do blip that the QR code there that you see on the screen. That is a free gift for our guests. It's really just it's a helpful tool for navigating connection in real time. It'll get you familiar with the Bridge City campus.
And also for our current members, I'd like to extend the same kind of welcome. We always love seeing you show up every week. And just as today's talk is going to talk about participation as well, and so participation in our lives in general, not just, it's great to have you participating with us. We want more participation in this community, and just really be intentional in one's lives. So
the theme today is reciprocity. So what do you think about reciprocity?
Reciprocity, yeah. So I think that this is trying to understand how life is. There's a lot of give and take in life, and but it's not necessarily transactional. And this is the thing. If we can't focus on the transactional, I think unfortunately there's so much of our society does in fact focus on what is transactional. Yeah. What can you do for me? Just how we build our entire financial system and stuff is all completely, everything is on transactions. So, but yeah, the idea is to create a better community, to build better, and to create growth.
Yeah, because people can feel stuck and isolated and overlooked and perhaps undersupported. And so one of the main things we'll be talking about is how to understand reciprocity in order to help us understand how life can open up through participation, contribution, and connection.
Yeah, so we wanted to ask those people who are online right now in the chat, so in what area of life do you need better reciprocity? See if
anything pops in there.
What people might come up with.
And while we're kind of waiting on that, one thing I will mention, Mark, not on the script here, but when I think reciprocity, I think Robert G. Ingersoll. And if anybody who talks to me or comes into my orbit, will hear that name a lot. He was a 19th century humanist, free thinker, but he used to say that happiness is the only good. The time to be happy is now. The place to be happy is here. And the way to be happy is to make others so. And I think that last part of it, the way to be happy is to make others so, is really, in my mind, a lot about reciprocity. That the more you give, the more you actually get. And that's my little.
I'll have to look up this guy. There's something about that period of time, the mid to late 1800s, where there was this new campaign of free thought and such that would not be out of place in today's society, in the modern world.
Right. Yep.
And in the kind of conversation that we do today, it's really striking to me how over 100 years ago, people were just still going through the same stuff and talking about the same
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, hey, let's move on to the news.
So greetings, Bridge City. Good, great to see you. My name is Mark Russell. I am the book club leader here, as well as doing a few other little things in the community. Just looking
Mark
to.
does a heck of a lot. So
I'm
glad that Mark's here. Glad that everyone's joining us today.
I did want to mention that this is Pride Month, and so I just wanted to bring that up to say that we're also here at Bridge City in thinking about celebrating Pride, figuring out how to celebrate Pride. And I was thinking about this because so many times you see these people who protest like Pride, and they are saying that it's against the Bible and stuff, but in fact, it seems like this is such a big misunderstanding, because what is being celebrated is not what they're talking about in the Bible. Biblical pride is more like that arrogant self-exaltation and contempt. It's about tearing people down to lift yourself up or something like that. And that's not what Pride Month is about. Pride Month is started in 1969 Stonewall Uprising, which was a direct response to shame that was for people just for the very fact that they existed. And the pride being celebrated is closer to like a self-respect and human dignity than to that sinful hubris. It's about refusing to internalize hatred, claiming the right to exist openly, and honoring a community's resilience. These two things share a word, but not a meaning or spirit at all. And conflating the two really misunderstands both. So
yeah, and I'll throw another Robert G. Ingersoll-ism at you, Mark. Robert G. Ingersoll he would like to say that I would claim no right for myself that I would not gladly extend to someone else. And in my mind, that's part of pride, is celebrating everyone's freedom to be their selves. To
absolutely
walk freely in the identity that they're comfortable with, and that we should all, no matter where you are, on the spectrum, you should celebrate that. And again, if you claim it for yourself, you should be willing to gladly extend it to someone else. So,
yeah. Absolutely.
Well,
so with that, I'd just like to invite everyone to visit our global campus. And as you can see displayed on the screen, there's a QR code. It's under construction. We have some specific areas that you can start with. There's the lobby, which is a good place to start. It has our welcome center, an event center, and the welcome center has a good starting point where you can find some little classes and sessions to learn a little bit more about Bridge City, our event center, to see what's going on in the community, and maybe just drop in and check something out. Business center to find people who are offering services, and we have a lot of other areas, so just check them out.
Yeah, as you continue to explore, you'll run across the things we call connection circles, which again gives you a chance to get oriented to the community and the campus a little bit more, as well as we have small talks, which are opportunities for members to actually kind of share some of their own expertise and their own areas of interest, which is a really cool thing. Another cool thing is watch parties. Sunday sessions are really great, but they're even better in a group. So if you can, or if it would enhance your experience, try to get some friends together to share the value that you're getting out of Sunday sessions. These are just small in-person gatherings where folks can watch Sunday sessions together. And if you happen to organize something like that, post pictures,
absolutely,
to the local campus. That'd be great.
The watch parties are a great first step to that we are trying to get more local communities and campuses, and a watch party is like a good first step to get into that. So if you are curious and not quite ready to lead something, this is something large. At least this is a little small step if you'd like to do something to create some of that community.
Yes, we got local watch parties, we have movie nights, we also have clubs, and the club we wanted to spotlight today is the Deconstruction Club, which I think is really important, and part of the reason why I think communities like Bridge City are important is because a lot of folks are coming out of religion, and one of the things that religious life filled for them was a sense of community, and I see Bridge City as being kind of a safety net for people. If we have a really authentic community, a very intentional community, hopefully, as people are deconstructing and having to unravel things that they have believed to be true for a long time, that knowing that there's this safety net of other people who are willing to support them can be really, really important. So the Deconstruction Club is a place to meet like-hearted people.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was first starting, I lurked for a little while just to get a feel for what was going on. What was the sense of the community. And after I had that, I had spent a little time doing that. I was able to get more involved by just starting conversation, and it's a great place to get engaged. I think that if you just even look through some of the conversations, and you come across something of interest, it's always worth just chiming in if you feel that it's something that you'd like to talk about. And even if it's an older conversation, I mean, people will come back and start talking again about that as well. It's great.
It's a good place for new members to kind of get a temperature of the room, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of new members, we've had a good number of new folks coming to Bridge City, 20 in the last month. And so just want to, again, if you're thinking about it, the QR code there is on the screen. It's sometimes uncomfortable or can be a little bit scary to join a new community, especially if you've come out of a religious community. But we hope you find this to be a welcoming spot.
Yeah, but I mean, then exactly. So, like when you go to church, the way that you would meet people is like either at like the coffee hour afterwards or something like that. So our closest equivalent is that we have our new member area where you can go in, and this is a place where you can introduce yourself, just to say hello. It's a great place to just start that step to it. In your introduction can be as simple or as detailed as you want it to be. You absolutely don't have to lay out your life, but you want to just get yourself into the room and start chatting. It's a great place to start.
Yeah, and just you and I were one-time new members, and now we're volunteers. So once you get into the community and kind of get a feel for the room, then you can kind of feel for where you really fit in and where you can bring your own interests and talents. And so because heaven knows that any growing community needs volunteers. They need people who can do stuff, and in many cases, I think that actually gives you a really good sense of purpose by being able to leverage your own talents to a worthwhile cause. And so that's what we need for volunteering. It's not just to make the community look good; it's to actually help our community do good.
Yeah, there's lots of opportunities and place to create to find work within the community and to be the bridge, as it were, so that you can see that vision. So, and
to help build the bridge, we also, of course, need resources, including money. So every second Tuesday of the month, which is going to be this coming Tuesday, is our Giving Tuesday. We don't have tithes in our community, but we do depend upon the support of community members to, first of all, take care of some of the basics of getting us on the stream and all that kind of stuff. But other ways of supporting the community, we're trying to set up a nonprofit status, and of course that requires some legal fees, et cetera, et cetera. So what you can contribute will go toward keeping and building the community.
We don't ask for you to give something that you don't have. Right. Nobody should be extending themselves with things that they just don't have. I think I've been in that situation before. I have maybe been a little too generous, and you need to keep in mind where you are with yourself and what you're able to do. So sometimes if you can't give financially, though, too, as your time is always valuable as well, as far as if you want to volunteer in any capacity as well. So let's just wrap things up. Visit the Global Campus, check out a watch party, join tonight's movie night, Normal Heart. Check it out, and then join into the conversation as well. Check out our clubs. When you are on campus, welcome new members in as well. Be a participant in welcoming new people in, and choose to get involved. And when you can, support through our Giving Tuesday.
Excellent. Hey, well, it's just about to jump into the conversation, so now is the best time for you to share the stream, share our Sunday session with folks you think might be interested. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and let's now turn it over to Durante to learn about reciprocity.
Reciprocity, yeah.
Reciprocity in thank you so much, Bob and Mark, for doing an excellent job. I'm so enjoying these pre-show podcasts because that's what they feel like to me. To me, it feels like a pre-show podcast, like we're just getting started. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you're all doing wonderful. I hope you're having a great day. Happy Father's Day to all of our fathers out there. And I'm going to get back to you in just a moment. Y'all know the first thing I got to do is acknowledge the guests. Do we have any guests here today? Listen, if you are a guest, if this is your first time here, we got a gift that we want to give you. It's a real nice way to learn more about Bridge City, who we are, what we've been up to for the first half of the year. It's an exciting piece. It's absolutely free. You don't have to give us anything for it because you've already done enough by showing up. This is a thank you for your presence. And as you'll find out in today's conversation, your presence is a part of the economy. We're grateful anytime somebody shows up in one of our sessions, whether it's local or virtual. You're a part of this wonderfully diverse and growing and caring community. Man, Wilson, it's great to see you in here. Man, great to see you back. Shell, Dark Light, Jude. Man, it's nice to see y'all. And of course, y'all see our community is global. So if this is your first time here, please visit the link on the screen to get the gift that we have planned for you. And also, whether it's your first time, whether this is your second time, hopefully it's not your last time, but whatever time it is, let us know where you're watching from. You never know whether you're watching now or later. You might find out that you're watching with your neighbor. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but it did. It did what it did. Elroy recently signed up for Bridge City. Awesome. Nice to know. Make sure you introduce yourself in the new members welcome area so we can get to know you. I'm glad our community has grown like crazy over this past year. I think this year we went in with maybe 30 to 50 members, and now we're crossing over 218 members. So we've been doing the dang thing. Today is Father's Day, and so I do want to say again, happy Father's Day to all of the fathers who are part of our communities, for the fathers, for the father figures, for the people that are loving your children, man. Listen, happy Father's Day. Holidays are not a big thing for me. So I don't really, I don't celebrate holidays a lot, for real. I have to be reminded of them. But Father's Day is not the day, but just being a father is one of the most important things in my life. What you'll see here on this video, and I'm gonna lean so y'all can see it to me, but not this video, but this photo. This is a few months before I completely deconverted, and I had taken my at the time 2 of my kids out to what is it called, CC's Pizza, where back in the day it was a $3.99 buffet. And while we were there, my oldest son, this is Destiny, just graduated college. He's headed to Alabama University this year, full ride scholarship. He's going to be studying physics. But this was the day that I realized that being a good father might require me stepping away from my belief system. That like, come on, since we're talking about Father's Day, this picture is the day that as a father, I made the decision that my beliefs might be presenting me from being the best parent that I could be. And what's happening here, Destin, he's anywhere between 6 or 7 years old in this picture, and he's giving me a lecture, an educational presentation on the reflective properties of ice. We were talking about the reflective properties of ice. He was incredibly interested in the way the water was condensating on the glass, and it led to this just insane conversation with my 6 or 7 year old, where I realized, oh my goodness, my baby boy has a really, really bright mind, and I'm afraid that if I'm not careful, I may do to him the same thing that others did to me for so long. So that brilliant baby boy right there was one of the main reasons that I deconverted, that I had to walk away. That was in June of 2014. In October of 2014 is when I left the faith. So yes. All right. So let's kind of jump into this again. Happy Father's Day if I haven't said it enough. Also, happy Pride Month. It works together. All right. So welcome in, everybody. We kicked off a new series last weekend, voted on by the members of our community, or the weekend before last. And this was voted on by the members of our community. And this one is called Reciprocity. Thank you, Jude. This one is called Reciprocity. This is our current series. Now, the series that we're starting next month, I'm just going to go ahead and plug. Don't miss it. It's called Headcanon. And what you'll begin to notice as Bridge City continues to grow more and more, these sessions and series will become more and more reflective of our community. Right now, they've been super duper reflective of me because I got here first. And if you don't catch that reference, go back to the Sunday session where I taught that message. You got here first. But because I got here first, so much has been reflective of me and my ideas and my experience and my expertise and my styles. But now we have more people actually participating in the life force of the community. So because of that, we're getting more input. So we got people working on music for Reciprocity. We got a whole little thing going on for Headcanon that I'm excited about, that our club organizers have been working on together. And so, man, it's some exciting times. This is some exciting times. So if you've ever wanted to be involved with a global community that's actually making tangible difference, this is now the time to get in. But I will warn you, it's the beginning. So you got to do some beginning work. You got just go let somebody, just encourage somebody in the chat real quick and say you got to do some beginning work. All right. So throughout the entire month of June, we're going to be focused on the idea, and that we have been focused on this idea that life is not something you passively receive, but it's something you actively co-create through reciprocal engagement. Somebody say reciprocity. This is what you invest in relationships, community, and even personal growth. These things directly shapes what you experience in return. And I've been very careful about that framing. We've been very, very careful about that framing, because yes, I do want you to understand that, like, hey, what you put in is kind of what you get out. But there are some nuances to that. And we open this conversation up with what? Life is not a vending machine, because the truth of the matter is sometimes you can put in and still not get back. Y'all better talk to me out there. So what we're talking about is we're getting an understanding of reciprocity as healthy circulation, that life works through circulation. Okay, when circulation breaks, people either become drained or disconnected. And I just want to pause here and parenthetically insert that when you start feeling drained and you start feeling disconnected, I want you to resist that knee-jerk trigger to disappear. damn, this is good. When you start feeling drained or when you start feeling disconnected, I want you to resist the urge to disappear. And instead of disappearing, realign. Because if I'm feeling drained or if I'm feeling disconnected, this is a circulation issue. Now I'm talking about last week and the week before that, but I just felt that in my mind of minds. And so as we said the week before last, reciprocity is not about keeping score. It's the circulation aspect. It's about keeping life moving. So let's proudly get into week 3. I want to start with something that sounds simple, and man, this sounds so simple. But if you really sit with it, it might change the way you see your relationships, your community, your leadership, your family, your work, and even yourself. Okay, watch this. Nothing keeps moving. Oh, look at there, without energy. I hope y'all came for me today. Listen, I was actually supposed to pre-record this session today because it's Father's Day. And, you know, we actually do have a lot of fathers on our team. And so I was supposed to pre-record, but I started getting in these notes on Thursday. And I think it was about when I got right here. And I was like, nah, bro, we got to have this conversation live. Listen to me. Nothing keeps moving without energy. And I mean nothing, not a planet, not a star, not a body, not a business. Nothing keeps moving without energy. This is why I said when you start feeling drained or disconnected, before you disappear, realign. Y'all better, before you disappear, discern. Because nothing keeps moving without energy. Not a marriage, not a friendship, not a movement. And listen, we're building a movement. We're not building a museum. We're not building a monument that one man can stand under. We're building a movement. Nothing keeps moving without energy. What this movement needs more than anything else is it needs the energy of you. Yep, it needs your energy. That's really what we're talking about when we're talking about reciprocity. We're talking about how energy interacts. Okay, listen, nothing keeps moving just because it moved before. All right, this thing has to keep going. I don't get to do one Sunday session and then walk away and just be like, all right, we good for the month. No. I don't get to just build the platform and say, no, everything that is needed is already there. Nothing keeps moving just because it has moved before. A planet does not stay in orbit because it had a good week. A star does not continue to burn because it has good intentions. A cell does not stay alive because it just loves the idea of being alive. Everything that continues has to be sustained. It's more than just loving life. You actually got to do a good job of living life. Can I run that back? Because it wasn't even in the notes. It is more than just loving your life. You've actually got to do a good job of living your life. Many people were born but never learned how to live. How you learned how to be alive but never learned how to live? I feel like preaching in this little atheist, non-believing, humanist, free-thinking gathering of folk gathered from all across the globe. I feel like preaching a little bit, just a little bit. No. It's one thing to be alive. It's a whole nother thing to learn how to live your life. One of the reasons I get up every weekend and do this, even though it don't make sense to a lot of people, one of the reasons that I do it is because I want to help people. Yeah, come on, Rihanna, help me say it. Live your life. All right, y'all better talk to me. Listen. A star is not born just because dust and gas randomly hang out together. And stop treating your interactions with other people like random hangouts. There has to be some pressure. Somebody say pressure. There has to be some pressure. There has to be some gravity. There has to be some compression. There has to be enough mass for something to ignite. This is why we're talking about energy, man. A planet is not formed because particles casually agree to be organized. No, matter has to collide. It has to gather. It has to stabilize. You know, the Avengers aren't really the Avengers until they assemble. I'm gonna run that back. No, listen, how you gonna be out here avenging, but you ain't assembling? That's the problem. You out there avenging on your own, but the Avengers ain't really powerful until Captain America comes and says, Avengers, assemble. And what we need right now more than anything at this stage in humanity are humans who will assemble. Matter has to collide. It has to gather. It has to stabilize. It has to survive the violence of formation long enough to become something that can hold shape. It has to survive the violence of formation long enough to become something that can hold shape. Did you forget that formation is a contact sport? Did you forget that formation is violent, that formation is not always pretty, that yes, love making sounds beautiful, but it is also some back breaking? Y'all better talk to me out there. Like, no, there has to be some heat in here. Yes, I want to make you feel good, but yes, I got to blow that back out too. No, I'm just saying that formation is not always, it's not always comfortable. Sometimes there is some love and some pain, some sunshine and some rain. It has to survive the violence of formation long enough to become something that can hold shape. I need to know that you can take this. A living cell, I got to keep on. A living cell is not just chemistry floating around with the dream. At some point, life requires a boundary. Something has to separate what belongs inside from what remains outside. So y'all didn't know I was going to slip up and do this, but this whole month long, we're talking about reciprocity. No, this is not no spiritual, mystical guru, woo-woo stuff where I'm telling you, if you just have the right intentions and the right manifestation, that prosperity is going to show up at your door. I'm not here to give anybody mystics. I'm not here to give anybody mystery. I'm here to help us all understand the mechanics. Something has to separate what belongs inside from what remains outside. Something has to regulate what enters, what exits, what feeds the system, and what threatens the system. Because without structure, all right now, because we in it now, we're in the mechanics, okay? We're in the mechanics, okay? Without structure, energy does not become life. I need you to hear that. Without structure, energy doesn't become life, it becomes noise. And I think this where a lot of people are frustrated. Listen to me. A lot of you who are isolated, who've been looking for a community but can't find none. Yeah, I want to talk to you for a little bit. For those of you, you like, I've been going from group to group to group to group looking for community. Everybody has the word on the cereal box, but when I pour out the cereal, it just seems to be the same thing that I've seen before. It's because without structure, energy doesn't become life, it becomes noise. And a lot of times what you got attracted by, like white folk in a horror movie, is the noise. Sometimes you got to let that noise be what it's going to be. I'm not chasing noise, I'm chasing life. No, if I'm gonna be up in here, it has to be doing more than just giving me noise. It has to give me life, and life is the language of structure. Y'all don't want to talk to me. Without structure, energy does not become life. It becomes noise. The reason why your life is so noisy right now is likely because it's missing some structure. Without containment, energy does not become new. Or with energy does not become flow, it becomes leakage. Yes, come on now. Without containment, I'm telling you, we are walking in some places right now. Without containment, energy does not become flow, it becomes leakage. Okay, it's leakage. Okay, you're like, why is reciprocity not working? Because you is leaking everywhere, because you do not have containment. Good things are on the way, but they cannot make it to your life because you do not have the containment. Damn it, I feel like a preacher right now. No, without responsibility, energy does not become reciprocity. Oh no. When you start asking yourself, where is my reciprocity, that has to be attached to what am I responsible for? Where is my reciprocity? My reciprocity remains in the same place that my responsibility does. Without responsibility, energy does not become reciprocity, folks. Listen to me, community. Can I get a jalapeno, habanero, hell yeah, or something out there? Without responsibility, energy does not become reciprocity, it becomes extraction. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. This is something I need us to sit with. I need us to sit with this, because some of us are not tired because we've been giving too much. Some of us are tired because we've been leaking too much. So you think shucky now. You think what's been killing you is you've been giving in vain. I would like to suggest to you that maybe you've been leaking in vain. That your life really isn't struggling at where you're giving. Your life is struggling where you're leaking. As a matter of fact, it might be because of where you're leaking that you're not able to give the way that you want to give. Am I talking? Like you be wanting to show up full of love. You be wanting to show up full of joy. You be wanting to show up full of excitement, but life has you leaking right now. Yeah, like I had my mind made up, Durante. I was going to show up and I was going to be the life of the party. But about 2 hours before I was supposed to be there, I get the phone call about having to take care of this. And I don't know if you know, but I'm the only person in my family that has to be responsible for this. See, some of you think you're giving too much. And the reality is the problem is not in your giving. It is in your leaking. It is not in the stuff that you are doing from the goodness of your heart. It's the stuff you're doing that you have absolutely no control of, because you don't even know that it's leaking out, because where there is no structure, okay, there is no energy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You're not tired because you've been giving too much. You're tired because you've been leaking too much. And some of you are confusing with what you've been giving with what you've been leaking. Some of you are confusing with what you've been giving with what other people have been taking. See, reciprocity don't work with robbery. Shataya. Boy, what? No, reciprocity does not work with robbery. If they're taking it from you, you're not giving it. You can go and hang up that karmic responsibility of coming back. That is gone unless you go get it. And maybe that does need to be some of the messaging, because some of us come from theology that taught us that God was going to get it, or that it was stored up for the just, or the preacher man was going to prophesy for it, or the prophet was going to bring it forth. But I'm here to remind you, if somebody took it, it's up to you to go back and get it. Y'all, I'm just talking my talk this morning. That's all. This just this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I am just talking my secular human talk. I'm just saying, maybe the problem isn't what you've been given, is how you've been leaking. See, some of us are not frustrated because nobody cares. Some of us are frustrated because we keep expecting circulation from systems we haven't helped maintain. See, watch this. You can't keep creating the same input and expect a new ecosystem. Your ecosystem is not going to change if it keeps receiving the same thing. You can't keep starving the same relationship and expect it to overflow. Have you ever expected a relationship to improve that you are physically starving, that you are actively starving? You're expecting you're expecting improvement where you're starving it. Let's go there. No, I want my marriage to get better, but you're starving it of communication. No, I want my friendships to get better, but you're starving them of consideration. No, I want my community to get better, but you're starving it of participation. I'm just talking. You cannot keep underbuilding the same organization and expect it to scale. This is often sometimes my problems with political talk, and I'm not going to stay here too long, but I'm like, are we going to keep underbuilding the same thing that hasn't been working? I think it was Einstein who said doing the same thing, expecting different results, is the very definition of insanity. And I'm willing to be a lot of things, but insane is not one of them. If it wasn't getting me results yesterday and the day before that and the day before that, I got to be willing to call an audible on the play. I got to be willing to pivot, y'all. I got to be willing to pivot. You can't keep withholding your presence and expect to feel deeply connected. You can't keep protecting your image and expect to participate in real community. At some point, the question becomes, what am I feeding? What am I maintaining? What am I building? What am I leaking? Which part of me is coming out that I'm not even trying for me to come out? I think that was the question we asked last week, is that when stuff keeps showing up in your life that you don't want to show up in your life, the realistic question is that you got to ask yourself is, why am I so good at this? How did I get so good at this that even when I'm not trying to be a fool, I'm showing up as a fool? When did I get so good at being the fool? Y'all better talk to me. What am I leaking? What am I demanding from a system that I'm not helping to sustain? What am I demanding from things that I'm not maintaining? Okay, the big point of all of this, and if you're a note taker, this is a great place to jot this down. This is the title of today's conversation. I'm sorry it took me so long to get here, but there is no free energy. When I first started my collegiate career, when I first started in college, I was going to be an educator. My goal, I wanted to start off in secondary education and then eventually move on to collegiate level education, teaching undergrad and then grad school, which now I'm working on trying to figure out a way to make it happen to go back so I can complete my master's, so I can actually pick back up. But I knew for damn sure I wasn't teaching an American middle school or high school. Hell no, I'm not doing it. I don't know if you've been through the public teaching system. It is not encouraging. I tell you, it's not motivating. Nope, not even a wiggle. No. But one of the things that I'll never forget while going to school to be a secondary English teacher, which is what my major was going to be. I'll never forget when they said this to me in class. If I had a chalkboard behind me, I'd write it. It was TNST. AAFL, tenaciful. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. It may not be pronounced that way. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Tenaciful. It is tenaciful. What tenaciful means is there is no such thing as a free lunch. Oh man, that thing bothered me. Oh no, that bothered me, but it is based in this very simple principle. There is no free energy. That's the subject of this weekend's conversation. Whatever we want to keep alive will require continuous input. Why? Because there is no such thing as free energy. You're going to get a taste of it out your mouth. There's no such thing. This is why perpetual motion can't exist. This is how scam artists keep getting you. They keep convincing you that energy is free. They keep convincing you that perpetual motion has already been achieved. Anytime somebody sells you a plan where they tell you that all you got to do is this, and then it's just going to keep on keeping on by itself, they are violating this very simple principle. There is no such thing as free energy. So often when we think of reciprocity, we think of karmic phrases such as what goes around comes around. The phrase what goes around comes around implies a closed, perfectly balanced loop where energy or karma is perfectly conserved. Now, in physics, the problem with this perpetual motion concept, because that's what it is that no real system is perfectly isolated. I hate to take you to school for a moment, but we got to go there to make this sense. If we're not going to ground our conversations in supernaturalism or in doctrine or in dogma, we've got to ground it in objective reality, and we might as well throw some science at you while you're doing it. Friction, air resistance, and entropy ensure that energy always degrades. I need that to hit you in the city of your sanctified soul, as we used to say in the Baptist church. No, entropy ensures that energy always degrades. You know, you get tireder as you feel older, baby. That's entropy working on your back. You can never get out exactly what you put in. I promise I'm about to make this make sense real good. I promise. First law of thermodynamics, okay? Energy cannot be created, I love this, or destroyed. A machine cannot output more energy than it takes in. Oh, okay, let's sit there for a minute. A machine cannot output more energy than it takes in. Can I set you free real quick? I'm going to step on your toes later on, but just real quick, can we set you free? Can we give you a moment to breathe? Can we give you a moment to stop holding yourself hostage to unrealistic expectations? Look at this. It's on the screen. Hey, look back over here. It's on the screen. Look at this. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. A machine cannot output more energy than it takes in. Please stop beating yourself up for not being able to put out what you have not taken in. Energy, y'all better talk to me, cannot be created or destroyed. You cannot output more energy than you are taking in. So when you feel like you are not enough, and we're going to talk about this, when you feel like you're not measuring up, when you feel like you don't have enough to give, when you feel like you're not showing up with everything that everybody else shows up, you need to understand that you cannot put more out than you have taken in. You've got to be willing to take inventory over your life and be honest with yourself and your circumstances and your conditions in the context of your lived experience, and be able to sit down sometimes and say, I just did not have what everybody else have. And so I cannot keep expecting myself to produce at the same level of other people if I do not have an environment where it's being poured back into me. Stop beating yourself up. Oh, brother, the physics will save your life. The math. It's the math. It's the math. Boy, y'all probably never got this excited about physics in your life. Let's take it a step further. The second law is that the total entropy or disorder of a system always increases. Now listen, disorder always increases. Energy naturally degrades into unusable heat. Sometimes just from a social perspective, just making this about you real quick, sometimes you may experience that as frustration. Energy naturally degrading down into unusable heat. Sometimes you may experience that as anxiety. Okay. And so it cannot spontaneously reorganize to keep a system running infinitely without an external source. Our external source right now as a planetary system is the sun. We on its time clock, but like I feel like there's so much I can unpack out of this. But the point is that energy naturally degrades into unusable heat, so it cannot spontaneously reorganize to keep a system running infinitely without an internal source. I know you feel big and bad and you are a Hulk smash, you are all of that and a bag of chips, but I am here to remind you that you cannot do this by yourself. Friendships are an external source of energy. Partnerships, come on, y'all, talk to me for a moment, are an external source of energy. Mentorships, yes, they are. They are an external source of energy. So this gives us two disadvantages, man. Two disadvantages. Number one, and this is just the reality of the math. This is what you're dealing with. You can't get back equal what you put in. Like, you're just gonna have to sit with that for a minute. Like, that's one of the hardest things you're ever gonna have to face with just your economic reality. That's your real deal. You never gonna get back for real what you put in. You got entropy working against you. Things are naturally degrading. You're just not gonna get back equal what you put in, not just between you and it. I'm just trying to be 100% honest with you. Disappointment is the child of false expectations, and sometimes you're expecting too much because you don't understand enough. Damn, that's good. Let's say it again. Sometimes you're expecting too much because you don't understand enough. And in all of your getting, I'm here to help you get some understanding. The reality is, the math is, the physics are, the natural containments, the natural constraints right now. Maybe that'll change in the future, but right now, listen, I don't care how hard you try, you can't get back equal what you put in. Which leads us to the second disadvantage, and they're connected. They work together like that. What you put in is guaranteed to degrade. Man, but can I talk to some married folk real quick? No. What you put in is guaranteed to degrade. Like, it's guaranteed to degrade. No, you opening doors and just holding stuff. That was so cute in the beginning, but what you put in is guaranteed to degrade. You remember that one time you went all out the way just through this beautiful celebration, but the reality is, I know it hurts sometimes. We all hopeless romantics. We don't like to deal with it. What you put in is guaranteed to degrade. Let's talk to some bill payers out there. Let's talk to some bill payers. But I paid the rent last month. Yes, but what you put in is guaranteed to degrade. You can't get back equal what you put in, and what you put in is guaranteed to degrade. Every time someone donates to Bridge City, in most cases, we're never going to get the full amount that they donated. Because what you put in is guaranteed to degrade, because there are ecological forces at work that need to get fed to. Oh, yeah. So PayPal says, hey, I'm going to need my little cut. Stripe jumps in there and says, hey, I'm going to, y'all don't want to talk to me. What you put in is guaranteed to degrade. This is what makes reciprocity so complicated. We often approach reciprocity as if our contribution exists in a closed loop, where as long as we put in enough, perpetual motion will eventually kick in and carry the work. I'm sorry somebody lied to you. The reality is, no amount of work you put in creates the additional energy required for perpetual motion. None. That's the thing. Like, regardless of how many wealth cycles we have hit as a species, and we've done some incredible things with wealth as a species, we have, like, there's absolutely wealth inequality in the world today. There's never been a time where that has not been the case as far as human civilization is concerned. All right. So wealth inequality has always been a problem. There are some systemic issues at work there that do not change just because we're mad at it. But the thing that I want to highlight is that we've crossed several thresholds of wealth. We got to the 100,000-aires, and then we got to the millionaires, and then we got to the 100-million-aires, and then it just got ridiculous, and we got to the billionaires, and then we got to the trillionaires. And listen, I'm not here to do a commentary on the morality of wealth right now. What I want to point out, what I want to show you, is the reality is nobody who's hit the mark retired. Now, see, that's the thing that you don't see. That's the thing you don't see. Nope, nobody who's hit the mark retired, because what you put in is guaranteed to degrade. No, this is there is no perpetual motion. Someone has sold you a finish line. That finish line is death. There is no finish. There is no finish until you gone, until you up out of here. What I'm trying to say is nothing healthy becomes automatic without a system that can sustain it. No amount of effort creates perpetual motion. No amount of sincerity cancels entropy. No amount of giving makes up for a system that keeps wasting, leaking, scattering, or misdirecting energy. Collective ecological reciprocity is how we optimize energy output and mitigate energy waste in ways that maximize redistribution of benefit to the participants. I know that's a lot of words, but I promise you, your boy is going to make it make sense. What I'm saying is there's not enough you can do by yourself to make reciprocity work for you. I don't care what that guru says. I don't care how long you stand in the mirror and say money is coming my way. I don't care how long I don't care how many vision boards you create. I don't care how many mind maps you map out. I don't care how many people you give a special offering to. None of that is how reciprocity works. Reciprocity is the byproduct of healthy relationships. Yeesh. When my reciprocity isn't working, there's something wrong with my relationships. Okay? Reciprocity works in tangent with our collective ecology. Again, it's how we optimize energy and mitigate energy waste. Okay? This is what what we've been calling ever since falling in love with reason. We've been calling this partnership math. We've been calling this partnership math. This is where partnership math kicks in at, where 1 + 1 doesn't just equals 2. It's no longer limited to a result of 2. When you start working together, all of a sudden 3, 4, 5 becomes a possibility because participation creates emergent possibilities. Okay, let me explain, because some of y'all looking at me like that boy done lost his mind. It's okay. I used to be slow too. You slow, but you are worth waiting on. You is kind. You is nice. All right, let's go. Let's go. Okay. Flight in birds is a product of biological evolution. All right. Formation in flight is an emergent property. Like there is nothing that we can look in their biological makeup that says, why do you do this? Okay. So birds fly in a V formation primarily to conserve energy during long migratory flights. Y'all gonna get this Nature Channel today. You gonna get it. By flying just behind and to the side of the bird in front, they ride the rising air currents known as upwash, which reduces wind resistance and allows them to travel much further without tiring. Each bird reduces drag, saving roughly 10 to 30% of their energy. Okay. What I've been saying all day so far is there is no free energy, but collective reciprocity is how we save more while still managing to accomplish more. Let me make this make sense now. When birds fly in a V formation, something changes. It shifts. Okay. They are not creating free energy. Mm-mm. They're not creating energy where energy did not exist. They are reducing waste. Listen, when you're working together, when you're building community, when you're building partnerships, when you're building affiliations, when you're building networks, you're not creating free energy, but you are reducing waste. Okay. They are using the air differently. They are positioning themselves so the movement of one bird helps carry the next. Now, for every leader in Bird City, for every potential leader in Bird City, I need you to learn this lesson from nature. Listen to what the birds are doing. They are positioning themselves so that the movement of one bird helps carry the next bird. As all leaders, every single one of us, we should be carrying ourselves in such a way where the movement of one helps carry the next. Damn, this is good. Just from birds, this is good. The bird in front breaks the resistance. Hello, I'm the bird in front. Don't mind me. I'm just out here breaking resistance, okay? The bird behind it catches the lift. Thank you for everybody who's a part of our core team. I appreciate you for catching the lift. And then when the lead bird gets tired, and trust me, bruh, man, get tired, another bird can rotate forward. Now, listen, this is not magic. It's structure, okay? This is not free energy. That is collective reciprocity. The power is not just that everybody is flying. The power is that they are flying in a way that saves energy while extending distance. Can you organize in such a way that saves energy while extending distance? Can you build your relationships in such a way? Have you ever just been in the middle of an argument and just been like, wait a minute, do we have to be fussing about this? Can you build your relationships in such a way that saves energy while extending distance? Is anybody learning something about reciprocity today? I just hope this is helping somebody, okay? Okay. Because this is what healthy reciprocity does. It does not create energy from nothing. It helps us waste less of what we already have. Ooh, see, reciprocity and maintaining the systems that produce reciprocity is good stewardship. It's me recognizing, it's me recognizing that my time and my energy is two things. Oh, shiitake mushrooms. It is two things. My time and my energy is limited and valuable. See, this isn't in the notes, but damn, I feel like this is for somebody. Your time and your energy are two things that you need to treat both as equally important. My time and my energy is limited, but it is also valuable. And maybe you're fucking your life up sometimes because you're either not appreciating its limitness or you're not appreciating its value. Which one is it? Which one are you sleeping on right now? Which one are you underestimating right now? Your time and your energy is not only limited, it's valuable. You are a limited edition, and you need to start treating it like that. You know, the sneakerheads, every now and then, they get a limited edition. That one don't get to sit with the other sneakers. This is limited edition. They only made a few of these. Do you know how valuable this is? I have to make sure that this is aligned properly because it's limited and it's valuable. That's your humanity. You are a limited edition. Damn. Okay, back to regularly scheduled programming. Reciprocity converts unused capacity into shared movement. Okay, it redistributes strain. It increases range. It makes the journey more survivable. This is why we do community work, because it's easy for everybody to go into their corners. It's easy for everybody to silo off. And the truth of the matter is, the hard truth of the matter is, some of us can take that. Some of us can go into a corner, handle our business, and not need nobody else in the world. But the reality is, there's a high percentage of the human race, of the human species, that cannot. And we owe them this. We owe community for those who cannot do it on their own. We owe community to those who need it. Damn, y'all, I'm sorry. I still got notes to get through. Okay, listen. So the point is, energy is not created. It's converted. There's nothing we can do to create more energy, but we can always be looking for ways to convert unused energy. See, it's not a lot of time it's not I need to give more. A lot of times it's I need to find more. I don't have more to give. There's something I'm not using. There's a hard wall that we all face when wrestling with reciprocity. What I'm doing is all I got, and yet is not enough. That's a hard wall, man. That what I'm doing it's all I got, but reality is telling me that it's not enough. It's everything I have, but reality is telling me, hey, that's all you got? You can't get an extra 5 on it? No, it's everything I have, but yet it doesn't feel like enough. Has anybody ever been there before? Well, you've looked under every rock, you've knocked on every door, you got the certifications, you took the classes, you got the degrees, you've explored every option available. Baby, you shot your shot. You gave it all that you had and still had to sit in the discomfort of the reality of not enough. Because entropy did what entropy does. So I want to free you, and I want to step on your toes at the same time. Can we do that? Are you okay with that type of kink where I free you, but then put a little pain in with it too? You know, we're just gonna twist just a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm doing too much. I'm gonna free you, and then I'm gonna step on your toes at the same time. Reciprocity problems are often not a personal failure. All right, I want you to hear me very well. Reciprocity problems are often not a personal failure. Sometimes the problem isn't what you did wrong. It's not what you didn't have enough of. It's not the standard you didn't meet. So you can just go ahead and breathe. Get that weight off your chest and let that go. It's not your fault. Reciprocity is often not a personal failure. Reciprocity problems are often not a personal failure. Reciprocity problems are a systems failure. Okay. So it's not your fault, but it is your fight. Okay. Okay. Don't hate me. Don't turn me off yet. Don't you turn me off. Listen, it's not your fight. It's not your fault. Reciprocity problems are often not a personal failure, which means there's really nothing you can do to change this outcome from just a personal perspective. Reciprocity problems are often a system failure, which means it is not your fault, but it is your fight. Okay. I think we need to put that on the shirt. It's not my fault, but it is my fight. Because once you realize that the problem is systemic, you no longer have to drown in the shame, but you do have to participate in the repair. It's not your fault, but it is your fight. You can't just sit this one out until someone else fixes it. No, it's not your fault, but it is your fight. You can't just wait until things get better. I get it. It is not your fault. You did not cause this, but it is your fight. This systems issue is partly brought on by the superstition that life should function a certain way. The theist bathwater of believing in a God with a design and a plan, and partly from our own social tendency to lean towards passive consumption and criticism over collective participation and responsibility. The result is a worldview tempered by high expectations and low operational awareness. We have high expectation and minimal low participation, which leads to no operational awareness. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We expect things to work, but we do not understand what it takes to make them work. Yeah. Come on now. No. You've taken that for granted. You've taken for granted that you can just get the remote and press something and something happens. You've taken for granted that you can just pick up your phone and search for something and something happens. You've taken for granted that you can flip a switch and something happens. And so now you have all of these expectations for things to work on the flip of a switch, but you did not get understanding of how those things work. So we expect community, but we don't study contribution. We expect trust, but we don't study consistency. We expect support, but we don't study structure. We expect belonging, but we do not study presence. We expect growth, but we don't study infrastructure. And so we're sitting in the middle of life and be like, I just don't understand. Well, of course you don't understand, you big dummy. You're studying the wrong things. We know more about people we don't know than things that we actually engage. We know where Jay-Z and Beyonce had their children at. Come on now. We know about Taylor Swift's and old dude's relationship. Now, y'all talk to me. We know about all of our politicians' favorite kinks and shames and secrets and all of this other bull. But when it comes to just knowing how life works on a day-by-day basis, when it comes to just knowing our basic ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, we're just flipping switches without understanding and still trying to say, but where's my honey bun? Life is not a vending machine. Y'all wasn't ready for the honey bun, was you? I got you. I got you. This is why reciprocity does not just require good people with good intentions. Reciprocity requires good systems built on good information. This is where life starts exposing us because many of us have been trying to build something that circulates while refusing to keep feeding the system that circulation requires. If something is going to circulate, you got to be a part of the circulation process. When I was a believer, we used to say all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. But now, as a person who is situated in reality, I've understood that many things can work together if you are one of the many things that's doing the work. Y'all better talk to me out there. So we want connection, but we don't always want to keep investing presence. We want trust, but we don't want to keep making deposits. We want community, but we don't want the inconvenience of being known. We want support, but we don't want the responsibility of becoming supportive. We want healthier relationships, but we keep bringing the same patterns and expecting a different atmosphere because you're expecting someone else to be more responsible for your patterns than you are. Hiya, jalapeno, habanero, hell yeah. And leaders, this is where it gets dangerous. Because even when circulation increases without infrastructure, what looks like growth can actually be destabilization. So this is why even when our Discord took off and we had a whole bunch of people, I was like, whoa, let's slow your horses. This looks like growth to everybody else, but I'm true to this, not new to this. This is not growth. This is swelling. See, oh, damn it. Y'all are not ready for me today. More people doesn't automatically mean more health. More attention doesn't automatically mean more impact. More motion does not automatically mean more momentum, because sometimes what we call momentum is just a system speeding up faster than the structure can hold, which is why I want to get into point one. And I'm going to try to work through these real quick. Can y'all believe it? We only on point one, but let's go. Here we are. Flow requires boundaries. This is probably something that nobody ever talked to you about before. No, if we're going to be talking about reciprocity, we got to talk about some boundaries. If we're going to be talking about living in abundance, we got to start with talking about boundaries. You're wondering where your flow is. I'm wondering where your boundaries are. Because the difference between a river and a swamp is boundaries. You're wondering what's happening to your flow. I'm asking you what happened to your no. Oh, damn, this is good. Listen, let's go back to science. I'm going to put my Bill Nye deGrasse Tyson on. All right. A necessary step in the origin of life was the generation of a discrete barrier, a boundary layer that serves to separate the living non-equilibrium reaction system from the rest of the universe. Okay. Ooh, a river without banks is a flood. That is so true. I like that. All right. So let me say it. Before a cell can become a cell, it has to have a membrane. It has to have a boundary. Something has to distinguish inside from outside. Something has to regulate what enters and what exit. Something has to protect the integrity of the system while still allowing the system to exchange energy and materials with its environment. We're talking about reciprocity problems because life is not just chemistry. Here it is. Life is organized chemistry. Life is not just things flowing. Life is things flowing in an organized way. Life is chemistry with a boundary. Life is energy with structure. Life is exchange with integrity. And that boundary layer, the structural ancestor of the plasma membrane in modern cells, doesn't exist to isolate the cell from anything else. It exists to mediate exchange. It serves to maintain the integrity of the living system and mediates the movement of materials and energies into and out of the cell. Okay, so it keeps the living system from dissolving into everything around it. It allows nutrients in, it moves waste out, it helps maintains the difference between what the system is and what the system is not. Listen to me. Where boundaries don't exist, reciprocity can't exist. So the boundary is not the enemy of life. The boundary is one of the conditions that makes life possible. Oh, did you catch that? That the boundary is one of the conditions that make life possible. I just want to talk to some visionaries out there, some people who got a dream, some people who got a vision, and they're like, man, I've been working on this thing for over a decade and ain't nothing popped off yet. Are your boundaries in place? Because the boundary is one of the conditions that makes life possible. Are you allowing yourself to sit in the fact that you might not be sprouting, you might not be receiving as much as you think you should be receiving, is because you're missing one of the conditions that makes life possible, that makes living possible. And one of those conditions is called boundaries. Reciprocity cannot exist where boundaries have not been established. Remember last week, and I told you this is not magic, this is ecology. Ecology is the scientific study of how living organisms interact with each other and with their physical surroundings. So when we talk about reciprocity, we're not talking about a mystical force floating around rewarding good people. We're talking about a function of social ecology. If you're a note taker, that's one hell of a phrase to write down. Social ecology. We are talking about the way people, environments, resources, expectations, responsibilities, patterns, needs, and constraints interact with each other. So if reciprocity is not working, something is happening inside my social ecology. Ecology requires boundaries to define the functional limits of natural systems. It manages complex social ecological interactions and prevent irreversible environmental degradation. So maybe we talked about leakage. Maybe you're experiencing degradation. Stuff is flowing into your life. But without boundaries, it's overflowing into other areas and it is killing your banks. It's degrading the vegetation in your life. See, there are things flowing in your life, not, shiitake. There are things flowing in your life, not to feed you, but to feed the things that feed you. Shoot, y'all ain't, bruh. Because this is how ecosystems work. See, you expecting the vending machine, The vending machine, I put in, you give me chips. But life is not like the vending machine. You don't put the seed in the ground and get watermelon. You get the seed in the ground and you get sprouts. And then you got to treat the sprouts right. Y'all. And then and then the sprout becomes sapling and you got to treat the sapling right. I might be getting this out of order. And then the sapling starts producing branches and you got to treat the branches right. Y'all. See, the things that need to be flowing in your life may be flowing in your life, but if there are no boundaries, then they are not there to feed the things that feed you. I don't always need peace in my life to feed me. I need peace in my life to feed the people that are feeding me. Oh, because maybe there are people who show up in my life that want to help me, but my life is so chaotic that they can't show up and take a seat. I'm just talking. I'm just talking, y'all. Y'all gonna make me talk my talk by myself, but I'm gonna talk my dang talk. All right. So listen. Boundaries provide the structural framework needed to understand energy flows, to protect biodiversity, and maintain stability. You keep treating yourself like a product, and you are an ecological environment. All right. And so when you start talking about reciprocity, I need you to stop limiting it to, I don't have the money I want. I don't have the job I want. I don't have the help I want. Let's grow out of that. That's the shallow bathwater we lived in with doctrinal superstition. Let's ask better questions. Let's seek higher things. Let's start asking, are my boundaries providing the structural framework needed for me to even understand what's flowing in my life? Like, man, you may be having some real gold flowing in your life through your relationships with people, just some real good advice, some real good encouragement, some real good practical tips and stuff, but you're missing it because it's flowing all over the place. No, you need to check your social ecology. What does the biodiversity look like in my social ecology? Is my ecology limiting my diet? Is it limiting my consumption? Is it limiting? The lack of biodiversity leads to a lack of nutritional diversity. Y'all ain't ready for me. Let's talk. So there are types of boundaries. There are two types that I want to start with. First type is boundaries that protect from unnecessary friction. These are the boundaries that we are most familiar with, the boundaries that protect from unnecessary friction. Okay. Boundaries that protect from unnecessary friction. That's friction that drains the system, but doesn't develop the system. You just always make me tired. These are boundaries that protect from unnecessary friction. These are boundaries put in place to make sure that things that are coming into my life isn't creating friction that is unnecessary. That's chaos. That's constant emotional emergency. When I let go of the need to be the savior of the world, I let go of the need to be responsible for everybody else's emergency. This is people having unlimited access with no responsibility. This is the kind of friction that does not sharpen you. It just wears you down. There just ain't nothing you can get out of. It is toxic for your system. It leaves you depleted. There's not enough of it that can circulate that can make it good. It's just bad. Boundaries help to keep that out of your life. And watch this. And let's just be real clear here. You have to be, when it comes to your boundaries, you got to know that your boundaries are for you. There are things that are bad for me that are not bad for other people. See, I'm just being too responsible. Let's move to the next type of boundaries. The next type of boundaries is boundaries that filter for productive friction, because I need some of that. That's friction that challenges the system without destroying the system. Hey, what's a life without challenge? Literally, what is your life without challenge? Who convinced you that all of your goals should be challengeless? Because that's where you're being robbed at. That's where you're being robbed at. That's the friction that challenges the system without destroying the system. See, good friction is accountability. It's honest feedback. It's necessary correction and improvement. It's creative tension. It's the hard conversation that saves the relationship. It's the operational disagreement that makes the organization stronger. It's the person asking a question you didn't want to answer, but you absolutely needed to consider. That's the good friction. In both cases, these type of boundaries exist to maintain systems integrity. Okay? Hear me well. Reciprocity can't live where integrity doesn't. Okay? And integrity is not just the intention to be good, it's the committed capacity to do good. Integrity is not merely how I see myself. Integrity is where the system of my life can hold what I say I value. Integrity is whether my behavior can carry the weight of my beliefs. Integrity is whether my habits match my hopes. Integrity is whether my contribution matches my expectation. Some of our reciprocity issues are actually integrity issues. We are expecting more from others than we are currently capable of giving. We are demanding consistency while still offering excuses. We are asking for support while withholding participation. We're frustrated that nobody is building what we also refuse to help maintain. We are asking people to honor boundaries that we have not yet clarified. And we're asking systems to hold pressure where we have not helped structure. So yes, some people have boundary problems because they let too much in, but some people have boundary problems because they refuse to take responsibility for what they're putting out. See, your boundaries is not always about your lack of boundaries. Your lack of boundaries is not always about what you keep letting in. Your lack of boundaries is sometimes the stuff you can't stop yourself from getting into. I remember I was going through a situation in 2015, 2016, where I was working with a friend of mine and they were going through a really hard time and I got pulled into a lot of it and it was a big mess. And I remember sitting down asking myself, now, Durante, how did you get into this? And it was a cycle at that moment. I'd realized, no, like I got a habit of getting into stuff that really has nothing to do with me. And the problem is that I really begin to carry it. I begin to carry it like a burden. I begin to carry it like a coat. I begin to carry it like it's my fault that I've somehow caused it. And I had to sit with the reality that, hey, this is actually a cycle that they keep running through and you keep treating it like it's an emergency. This is just something that they do. And it's okay for you to recognize it and not join. Sometimes your boundaries are not about what you let in. Sometimes your boundary violations are what you keep allowing yourself to get into. I hope this is helping. Both break reciprocity. But see, there's also a third type of boundary that we don't often talk about, and that's boundaries that are formed by distance. It's a boundary because you can't reach it yet. These are boundaries formed by distance. It's a boundary because you can't reach it yet. If you can't reach it, you can't pass it. Now, this boundary, it isn't personal. It's physics. You're like, I hope you can handle this. What many people experience as life rejecting them is really just the discomfort of the distance between where they are and where they want to be. That's that boundary. It doesn't mean you're hated. It doesn't mean you're disqualified. It doesn't mean the door is closed. It simply means there's a development period required before the next level can safely hold you. Because the next level is not just a place you arrive, it's a system you have to be able to sustain. And if the system of your life cannot hold the weight of what you're asking for, more access may not help you. It may destabilize you. More opportunity without more capacity can destabilize you. More visibility without more grounding can destabilize you. Man, how many of you don't realize that some of the things you're asking for are things that your current ecology is not capable of stabilizing, is not capable of supporting, is not capable of sustaining. And the beautiful thing is the physics of life, as messed up as things feel right now, the physics of life won't let you go any further. You think you couldn't bear this. Oh, just wait. More growth without more infrastructure can destabilize you. More circulation without more boundaries can destabilize you. Because where circulation has never existed, doing something different is not optional, it's required. Ecosystem boundaries act as transitional gradients and permeable filters that regulate the exchange of energy, materials, and organisms between adjacent habitats. I'm just throwing the science in here. Now, rather than rigid walls, they form unique, diverse transition zones that maintain landscapes connectivity while preserving the distinct internal stability of each system. In an empowered organization, which is what we're trying to build, boundaries act like riverbanks. Rather than restricting movement, they channel autonomy, energy, and decision making in the right direction. They provide a safe operating space where teams can innovate and take ownership without fear of overstepping or misalignment. Now that Bridge City is becoming more and more operational, we're now building boundaries. Those boundaries are called teams. They have different roles. There's the navigational leadership team. That's me. That's our head of community. That's our head of operations, which is vacant. There's the core team, which is comprised of the leaders of our campus teams, which we're still building out right now. Healthy flow state relies on rigid boundaries. Without containment, energy scatters and work bleeds into burnout. All right. So treat boundaries like riverbanks. They discipline the water to carve a powerful, sustainable path forward. Boundaries are not how we keep stuff out. Boundaries is how we keep stuff flowing. Okay? Your reciprocity isn't missing, it's leaking. You're keeping score. And you're like, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Why is this it? Why is this not working? And keeping score is like putting money in a vending machine that didn't give you anything back the first time, and then doing it again, and then doing it again. And you're coming out there and you're like, man, I done put $25 in this vending machine. Listen, at that moment, and I want to say this as honestly and as empathetically as I can, at that moment, you the fool. You are the fool. And I'm just saying this because that's sometimes how we treat life. You kept putting money in a broken system because you're just thinking that the only thing that matters is the score. The score doesn't matter if the system is broken. You can keep counting who did what. You can keep tracking who texted first. You can keep measuring who showed up last time. You can keep running the numbers, but the score doesn't matter if the system is broken. Reciprocity requires boundaries not to keep people out, but to preserve the integrity of the system so energy can safely circulate. This is us graduating from I need boundaries so people can't hurt me to no, I need boundaries so my energy can remain available for what I'm actually compelled to build, to become, and to participate in. I need boundaries because the people connected to me deserve a version of me that's not constantly leaking, scattering, reacting, and resenting. Okay, so let's move on because I got to wrap this up. But to recap and drive the point home, if you have a flow problem, you likely have a boundary problem. But catch this: when you start setting boundaries, your flow is going to create friction. But here's the good news: friction is not always failure. I think one of the scariest things about setting boundaries is friction, because many of us have been encoded to read friction as failure. So much so, you probably identify safety as a lack of friction. You might mistake peace for frictionless affiliations. Good connection probably means no friction to you. But the problem is that boundaries and connection are not opposites. Healthy boundaries acts as the vital bridge that makes sustainable deep connection possible. Rather than acting as rigid walls of disconnection, they establish where one person ends and the other person begins. Brown skin. Somebody gonna get that joke. Creating the safety, trust, and mutual respect needed for relationships to thrive. Boundaries are not just borders, they're also bridges. Yeah. As a matter of fact, connection only happens where boundaries become bridges. Connection is not a frictionless experience. Friction and connection share a paradoxical relationship. While friction, the force resisting relative motion, literally feels like a barrier, it's the exact mechanism required to establish a meaningful bond. Without it, surfaces slip apart and connection fails. Just as you cannot walk on ice without static friction to grip the surface, two objects cannot hold energy together without the right amount of contact tension. Too little lets them drift apart. Too much destroys the material. Let's think about it in the terms of energy. You put two related wires together, the closer you get, you'll start seeing some of that friction spark off. But that friction means it's working. Sometimes we try to pull back because we're experiencing the friction, when many times the friction is a sign that it's working. Okay. The myth of frictionless connection teaches us that if a relationship is healthy, it should always feel easy. If a community is right for me, it should always feel natural. If a leader is good, they should never frustrate me. If a team is aligned, they should never have tension. If people really love each other, they should never have hard conversations. But that's not how complex systems work. When individual complex systems collide, friction is inevitable. Many people mistake relational friction for structural failure, causing them to completely isolate or become hyper extractive. The question is not whether friction will happen. The question is what kind of friction it is and what are we going to do with it? When friction is managed properly, it accelerates community development through early intervention. Environments that major in high friction and high empathy not only see the problems faster, they commit to understand them more deeply, leading to more robust solutions. So, what I'm trying to say, listen to me, hear me closely, because we're still talking about reciprocity, is sometimes you didn't go through enough friction to land on the right solutions. Ooh, goodness gracious. Destructive friction damages the system, but productive friction develops the system. The more we avoid friction, especially that productive friction, the more we avoid development. I teach my kids that the abandonment, the rejection of correction is the abandonment of improvement. And if my sincere goal is to improve, I'm looking for friction that can correct what needs to be adjusted. Part of wisdom is learning the difference, because there is no such thing as free energy. If you want deeper connection, it's going to cost you the energy of honest conversations. And that brings us to the next piece, because one of the ways we sabotage reciprocity is not just by avoiding boundaries or misreading friction. Sometimes we sabotage reciprocity because we withhold the one input the system actually needs from us, and that is our presence. Did you know this? Did you know that presence is part of the economy? See, this takes us back to the system issues that we begin with. Because we've been groomed to wait on salvation, we've neglected to measure our own participation, or the lack thereof. If there's no such thing as free energy, then we have to stop pretending communities, relationships, organizations, and movements can keep producing life from people who are never present enough to participate. Participation asks the question, in the context of social ecology, what am I doing with what I have? What am I doing with from where I am, with what I'm learning, with how am I showing up to contribute in the world that I want to see? Participation is not about pretending that you have infinite energy. No, your energy is limited, but it is also valuable. Participation is about becoming honest with the energy that you do have. But for many of us, that's where the trap of not enough gets us. I told you I was going here. The trap of not enough is when we tend to stop showing up when we feel that what we have is not enough, which means we stop participating while still expecting consideration. But ecological consideration is predicated on what is present, not what is perfect. A system cannot circulate energy you never bring into the system. A community cannot organize around a capacity that you never make visible. A relationship cannot respond to a need that you only imply. A team cannot build with a gift that you keep hiding. A movement cannot be strengthened by a voice that is always waiting until it feels fully ready. Your presence is what's needed, not your perfection, your presence. It doesn't matter if you feel like you don't know enough. Your presence is needed. It doesn't matter if you can't show up every week. Your presence is needed when you can. Listen to me. It doesn't matter if you've made a bunch of bad decisions in the past. Your presence is still needed. It doesn't matter if your language is still developing. Your presence is what is needed. It doesn't matter if your confidence is still catching up to your conviction. Baby, I'm talking to you. Hey, you looking at me right now. Look at me. Your presence is needed. It doesn't matter if all you have right now is a question, a concern, or perspective, a testimony, a skill, a resource, a small window of time, or a willingness to try. Your presence is needed. Your perfection is not. Your worth is not waiting on your performance. And your community does not need a manufactured version of you. The problem with people who keep pretending to have it together is that they never get the opportunity to get it together. We need the present version of you. That's the only way you get a better version of you. That's why a major part of who we are is to create space so everybody can show up as they are, where they are, with whatever they're dealing with, because that's where we have to start at. We can't start on a manufactured version of you. We got to start with the real you, flaws, draws, and all. Y'all better talk to me. Your worth is not waiting on your performance, and your community does not need a manufactured version of you. We need the present version of you. If you pretend to be strong, we'll never know when you're tired. If you keep pretending it's all good, we'll never know when it ain't. And your ecology is predicated on your presence. That's how we learn what the system needs. Perfectionism is an extractive loop. Hear me, y'all. It extracts energy from the present moment to feed an idealized future that doesn't exist. It takes today's opportunities and sacrifices it to tomorrow's imaginary version of you. It takes the contribution you could make now and holds it hostage to a self you may never become. It takes the relationship that could be deepening now and delays it until you feel easier to love. It takes the community that could be strengthened by your presence now and starves it while you wait to feel impressive. True reciprocity requires showing up with problematic solutions and incomplete selves. Presence itself is an input. If you withhold your presence waiting for perfection, you're not protecting the community from your incompleteness. You're depriving the system of the energy that only your participation can bring. Once we understand that presence is an input, we also have to understand something else. Inputs don't always produce instant outputs. Sometimes the energy is working before the evidence is visible. Sometimes the relationship is forming before the feeling catches up. Sometimes trust is growing, and this is the hard part, before you can measure it. So we have to talk about time. And this leads me to my final point of the day, and we're going to get right, community, and go home. Trust has a time delay. This is uncomfortable. No, I get it. Listen, we've talked about the necessity of boundaries, friction, and participation in today's conversation about reciprocity and this understanding that there is no free energy. But I could not land this plane effectively if I didn't talk about trust and its uncomfortable relationship with time. Trust has an uncomfortable relationship with time. If it didn't take time, it wouldn't require trust. Sit in that for a minute. Sit in it. Yeah. If it didn't take time, it wouldn't require trust. Because, and this is why we started this series with life is not a vending machine. Because the vending machine don't require a lot of trust because it don't take a lot of time. But life, unfortunately, takes a lot of time. I know when you flip the light switch on, it comes immediately on, but that's because you're underestimating the amount of time it took for us to even get there to understand the mechanics to make it happen. Life is not a vending machine. And yeah, I get it. What you feed is what grows. Yeah, what you feed. Yeah, man. It is what grows, but there's no free energy. So if it wasn't here before, the energy to get it here is going to have to come from somewhere. And that somewhere is often at the intersection of your participation, your friction, and your boundaries. I got my boundaries inspected and operational. I'm successfully inviting productive friction while repelling destructive friction. And I am participating in being present at my current capacity. Then the only thing that is missing, and this is real uncomfortable, is time. And that part doesn't come overnight. See, listen, making the shot once is not the same as winning the game. Winning the game is not the same as winning the championship. All of these outcomes are separated by time and repetition. Can I repeatedly practice my participation in anticipation of a reality that's too far away to guarantee? Because trust, it has a time delay. Come here, Daniel's son. I got just what you need. Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand. Wax on, breathe in through nose, out the mouth. Wax on, wax off. Don't forget to breathe. Very important. Trust has a time delay. You're not trusting the outcome. You're trusting the process. The goal is not to find something to believe in. It's to get an understanding of how things work. And once I get an understanding of how things work, I can ground that understanding in objective reality in a dependable way. And then I can trust the process. And whenever you find yourself feeling discouraged, check this out. Lean in. You are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. Through the real life stories and lived experiences of others who are currently sharing with reality with you, and quite a few who walked before. And within those stories, you can find reinforcement, enlightenment, adjustments. That's actually what our next series, Headcanon, is about. That these aren't religious stories, these aren't divine stories. They're all our stories. Through the lives of others, you can find kinship in your struggles as a reminder that where you are, others have been. Listen, there's no magic required in that, just humanity, learning from humanity and using what we learn to trust the process. So just like flight in birds, trust is an emergent property that helps us conserve energy while also helping us do more. Yeah, we're going to need your boundaries. We're going to need you to understand friction. We're definitely going to need your presence. But we're also going to need your trust. Not for you to trust in me, not for you to trust in the vision, but I need us to get grounded in an objective understanding of reality so that we can all trust the process. Trusting the process is how we get in formation. It's the manifestation of our understanding that time plus process produces progress. It's what helps us take on roles when the teams don't even exist yet. That's trust. That's trust. It's what keeps us showing up in group chats and the commons groups and all these other things in BC 30, saying, I don't know if anybody's going to respond to me today, but I've got to say something. Why? Because I got to trust the process. So listen, I'm done for the day. At the foundation of every economy is a simple human reality. We do not have infinite resources, time, energy, or even infinite capacity. But what we do have is valuable. So we cooperate. We divide labor. We distribute responsibility. We create systems of production, distribution, and consumption so that survival and growth becomes more possible for more people. That's what any economy is trying to solve. How do we organize limited resources in a way that helps life continue? And I need us to understand that reciprocity is also an economy, not just a feeling, not just a vibe, not just good energy, not just what goes around comes around. Reciprocity is the shared economy of life. It's how care circulates, responsibility, how wisdom gets around, how opportunity gets generated. It's how strength circulates when one person doesn't have enough to carry everything alone, because there is no free energy. So reciprocity doesn't happen just because we believe in it. It doesn't happen just because we like the idea of community. It doesn't happen just because we say the right words. It has to be practiced. It has to be protected. It has to be structured and sustained. It has to be fed, repaired, and designed into the way that we lead, live, love, build, and belong. Because you cannot demand circulation from a system you're not helping maintain. You can't demand trust from a relationship where you refuse consistency. You can't demand community from a space where you refuse presence. You can't demand support from people that you never learn how to support. You can't demand better systems while always only participating as a critic. You cannot demand shared life while withholding shared responsibility. So the question is not just who is showing up for me. The question is also, how am I showing up for the system that I want to receive from? Because reciprocity isn't magic. It's ecology. It's not a vending machine. It's an economy. It's not a scorecard. It's a system. And the score does not matter if the system is broken. So as we close today, I don't want us to leave here asking, why didn't I get back what I gave? That question matters, but it's not deep enough. I want us asking better questions. Where is energy leaking? Where does flow need boundaries? Where has friction been misread as failure? Where has perfectionism kept presence out of the room? Where have I mistaken a time delay for a systems failure? Where am I demanding circulation from something I'm not actually helping sustain? because there is no free energy. What we want to keep alive requires continued input. And if we want reciprocity to live among us, then we have to become the kind of people who don't just consume the system. We maintain it, we protect it, and we build it together. That's all I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. Now I'm kicking it over to Ashley and Jude to close us out for today.
Thank you for joining us for today's Sunday session. I hope some of these words resonated with you as well. And of course, what stuck out with you?
Yeah, I mean, like, again, did you have a moment today where something kind of got you thinking, got you that resonated? That is there anything that you've been mulling on that the conversation today brought up? Right, that's why we have these sessions. Honestly, this is our kind of weekly touch point for us to start doing life together, so that we can kind of be on the same page. We have people who are going with us through life, just generally.
Literally, it really is. Sessions like these really reinvigorate why we participate in this community, why we show up, because it's ever expanding, it's ever growing of your own personal responsibility, your own personal agency. Big topic that I love. So for everyone out there, if you've been thinking about joining Bridge City, now's the time. If this is not about gatekeeping, this is not about check your ideas at the door. It's bring yourself as you are, and let's grow. Let's participate. Let's shape our lives together. So you belong here. If anything in this conversation touched you, resonated with you, if you're looking for a post-religious community, because post-religious doesn't have to mean we don't get together and grow and expand on our ideas. It literally means having these conversations. It means taking hold of our agency and showing each other what we owe to each other. So I want you to come join Bridge City, a place to live without shame. And I'm sorry, Jude, please. I was just pointing out that
Darnea has dropped the link in the chat. And do we have a QR code we can put on the screen somewhere?
Oh yeah, let's get that up there. And forgive me, you guys, I don't have chat up. I don't know how to format my screen just yet. I will work on it. So Jude, you got chat. If anyone says anything cool, all right, let's shout it out. But if you want a place to connect, build, and live better, get into Bridge City.
Yeah, and we have our Global Campus Pathway, our new member onboarding course to help you kind of get oriented, get an idea, especially if you've never used the Circle app before for anything else. We have the tap in and the new member onboarding course, which kind of walks you through first how to use the site, where to find everything, where you find our clubs and the commons and all of that cool stuff. And we have the and the new member onboarding goes over some of our values and the ideals that we're kind of working on building. Mission. We got if you're gonna any good build has a blueprint. Right?
Yes, I was literally just talking about this with Durante this week. We have a blueprint out, you guys. We have the raw materials. We are building. We are actively building. And I want to say, we have the courses that get you into the community that help set you up, and at least so you can start. But we also have the new member house party. It'll be at the end of this month that we all get together and we kind of go over not only our mission and values, but how to navigate the campus. And then we play games, which is awesome. Yes. Or we talk, depending on how we're feeling that day. And additionally, we've actually launched connection circles, which if you're like, hey, I really do want to join, but I don't necessarily want to talk to 14 people at once, that's fair. We can actually do a much smaller group and kind of take you through the campus. So get your new member onboarding courses going, and then come to a connection circle or the house party or both.
Ultimately, community is about relationships, and so we want to provide opportunities for you to build relationships. And having a whole bunch of mass events isn't always conducive to that. So we put a lot of effort into developing small, more close-knit spaces where people can really have a chance to get to know each other.
Yes. And of course, if you see anything in the campus and you're like, I think it'd be cool if we had this, reach out to any of us, because we love to make the member experience better and help you guys feel like you've found your community.
That's how I got involved, honestly, is I posted, I just kind of offhanded suggested in the comment, I could run a vocal workshop if people are interested. And next thing I know, Ashley's DMing me and saying, hey,
Jude, you opened it up now. I will say, I try not to come on too strong, but the moment someone has a good idea, I'm probably going to pounce on you and be like, get ready, because we're doing this. But it's been great, Jude. You not only have you stepped in and stepped up, really you've expanded, just kind of how Durante was talking on earlier. Like when I started introducing clubs, it was not in Durante's plan. It wasn't. But I love our clubs. Our clubs are thriving, and they give people a great landing point to just kind of trickle in and participate as they can, if you're not ready to do a small talk or the trigger warning discussions yet. And when Jude came in, it was like, well, yeah, we have this music club, we have this vision. And Jude just, bam, hit the ground running with the workshops, the songwriting sessions. You've done great things, Jude.
Well, and it's great. So speaking of the songwriting sessions and the music club, we are currently working on a song for this month's series. It's not ready today, unfortunately. We are still getting the hang of the timing on.
We're figuring out our rhythm, but
we're developing a rhythm. The goal is that within a couple of months we'll be ahead enough that we'll have the song ready by the beginning of the month.
Yeah, exactly. But for now, thank you for bearing with us. But I can't wait. I was part of that songwriting session.
Yes, it was great. It's third Tuesday of the month. We have songwriting sessions, and then after which we coordinate on building the song. We've got a bunch of people now coordinating. I'm not the only one singing. Zerniel's actually singing in this one, and we've got Party Wolf, who you see in the chat sometimes, is also contributing. Yeah. It is going to be awesome. It's not done yet, but it's going to be awesome, so stay tuned.
Yes, keep your eyes peeled and your ears peeled. That's how that works, because I'm really excited to see it drop. I've seen the demo. I'm excited.
And we're doing some really fun collabs in Bridge City music. And it's one of the things is that we're hoping to eventually get it to a point where streaming some of these collaborations could become a source of income for Bridge City, which brings us to the second Tuesday of every month. Giving Tuesdays.
I ruined that for Jude, but just so you guys know, that was the best transition I've ever seen. I'm so proud of you, because in order to give support in the community, we need support. Now, you guys have heard us talk about inviting generosity, that we don't require tithings, that we don't shame people into funding the mission, the dream, the vision. But our community is sustained by our members, by you out there watching this right now. So when you're giving on our Giving Tuesdays, the second Tuesday of every month, it's about supporting the mission. It's about creating accessibility to the community, sustainability and stability, so we can keep these music events, we can keep these discussions, this growth moving. So your support helps keep our community in motion, supporting local events, as well as what our big focus is right now, our next step as a community, moving into that nonprofit status. So that's been our really big push, and we'll see that again in June for those costs.
Yes. Because having those costs covered by the community helps us expand even more. And the more we expand, the more resources we have available, the more people pitching in, the more good we can do, the more of an impact that we can make. And speaking of impacts, we want to start establishing more local events, more local gatherings. We always encourage you to get a hold of us if you want help coordinating a watch party, if there's anybody in your area who are also interested. And that's a really kind of simple, easy way to start building a local community, is just have people over on Sunday to watch the live stream, right? Or even just have local meetups, meet at a coffee shop,
real world,
with a couple of people on a regular basis, and getting,
and I want to break in here really fast, because I forget, I think it was Mark or Bob in the beginning, in the intro, they mentioned coffee hour, and how you meet people at coffee hour typically. And I was like, it's so silly that we don't start some of these watch parties within the community, and then afterwards, after we break out of our Sunday sessions, have like a coffee hour in the lounge and just kind of talk about some of these things. Because you guys, legit, I have notes. Like, I need to talk to you guys about these things. So just so you know, mine's brewing on these things. And if you guys have any ideas for this front, let us know. But again, when we are inviting generosity and asking for your support, this isn't a manipulation. This is transparency. This is support that expands our mission, that builds the bridge. So if you can, we ask that you support generously or show up if you're unable to financially contribute.
And that's honestly, that's what it comes down to, is like, we would love to not have to ask for money, but that's not the world we live in. We still live under capitalism.
Granted, I will say that a barter system would make this harder. This would make it harder if we were under that.
Yeah, I mean, like, the money has a use. Capitalism and money are not synonymous, though.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Well, and so if you can't support financially, there's other ways to still support the community.
So many.
You could share the replay.
Share the replay. And comment. Boost us in the algorithm.
Yes.
Remember to like the stream on your way out.
Do the YouTube things, please.
Yeah.
And so I would say, we all know a bridge is only as effective as the place it reaches. You guys have heard us say this month after month. For years, probably at this point, for some people. So if you guys know anyone that's looking for a post-religious community, is hoping to indulge in their own personal growth, to expand on their own personal agency, and would enjoy these conversations, share these conversations, share them to your social feeds. And again, just underline again, if you haven't done the YouTube things, after you're done with the stream, be sure to leave a comment.
Absolutely, 100%.
All right, so let's go ahead and start closing this up. Again, everyone, thank you so much for joining and sticking around, even in this closing section here. As a reminder for Reciprocity, going back to my notes, the ask was today, are you willing to take the risk to show up? And if so, how are you showing up? These are things to keep in mind. Participation over extraction, circulation over control, understanding contribution over entitlement, and know where you're at before you start criticizing where you've landed. One of my favorite quotes, and I forgive me, it came from a YouTuber, but a YouTuber who heard it somewhere else, is wherever you go, there you are. And it's such a silly, simple quote, but it's true.
Yeah.
And it's really about examining your own agency in your situations and what you are bringing to the table. So life doesn't move through our desire alone. Effort is not magic. And it moves through you showing up and participating the way you want to interact with this world. And side note, because I can't stop side noting this morning, I didn't think I would be. I was like, reciprocity. When everyone chose that on the poll, I was like, I don't want this series. I'm good. But legit,
it's a good subject. It's a good subject. I've always thought the idea of reciprocity is one that's not as well understood as people think they understand it.
Agreed.
And it's definitely a subject worth talking about, I think, especially in regards to community building, right? Because we're building community here, and reciprocity is something that makes communities self-sustaining instead of having to constantly be managed.
Now you're making me feel like I got to switch around the trigger warning topics. We'll have a discussion on campus about this, because
we will. We
have one. So I will say again, visitors, thank you. First time you're a visitor, second time you're a guest, third time you're as good as family. So,
and to our family, right? Remember, again, don't let the conversation end here. We have the comments. You could comment here, share the replay. We have the Commons on Bridge City campus. We have all of the clubs.
The lounge.
We have a bunch of different. We have the member lounge for more casual conversations. We also have the resource board. If you want to suggest a movie for a future movie night, that's on the resource board, along with many other things, including
resources, Connections Hub. Really, go check out the resource board if you haven't yet. It has a lot of great information about Bridge City, external communities, and we'll actually be this month launching a Bridge City library where we showcase some content creators from YouTube that our community respects and wants to engage with.
I am down for that. Yeah, and if you want to start contributing, if you are still kind of new and getting the feel of place, we have the teams page where you can formally volunteer, or you can do what I did and just put your hand up in a club somewhere and say, "Hey, can I do this?" Someone will send you to Ashley. And
I will pounce on you, and we will do things.
Yes, it's great. There's so many ways to get involved, and we have so much stuff going on, so many new things. If there's something on Bridge City that you want to see and it's not there yet, and you have the time and energy to do it, like
to show up. Yeah,
honestly, it's fantastic because we've got a wonderful community that's just growing, and I'm really excited to see where we're going with all of this.
And I feel like this is how you see our values in motion. When we say forward thinking, we talk about having these conversations, kicking off Pride Month with a movie that is probably going to cause some tears in the audience. We want to expand our thinking and grow as people because we're people centric. Everything we're doing within the community is about connecting authentically, genuinely, about showing up for each other. And of course, life affirming. It's not about agreeing a one-to-one. It's not about judging the next person over, personality policing and how you're supposed to do it. It's about celebrating each of us as we are.
Yeah. And celebrating each of us as we are and what each of us are able to contribute, right? We want to be forward thinking enough to, anticipate what needs to be done, what the community is going to
expand the conversation,
expand the conversation. We want to be people-centric. We want to build those relationships so that we know who needs what, right? If you have friends, they're more likely to notice when you're in a bad place, right?
Exactly. And I think we even see that in the community. I'll tell you, if I don't hear from you in like a month and you're pretty active, I will be reaching out. Apparently, I'm a pouncer. I just got to accept that about myself. That's where we're at right now.
We love you for it. I mean, Bridge City wouldn't be what it is today without you.
Well, without all of us, honestly, I will never stop being amazed by how many people show up in the community and take a piece of it and run. And it's been beautiful to watch. So again,
and life affirming, right?
And life
affirming, show up as you are. We are not here to tell you to be something specific or different, or we want you to show up and let us know what you need to be the best version of yourself.
And if you really want to put raisins in potato salad, fine. Just do it. Well, so I will say again, everyone, thank you for joining us today. And until next time, keep rising and be the bridge.
Overcoming everything that's thrown at me. I am now becoming everything I chose to be. I am now affirming greater power is in me. I am never running from my own capacity.